Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by BetRivers. If you're not using the BetRivers app, you are lost in the soup. It doesn't matter what you want to bet on. Football futures, the NFL season right around the corner, college football right around the corner, baseball heating up. I got a parlay for you on Friday. I'll have one for you. The Olympics, soccer, tennis. We love tennis here at BetRivers. Anything you want covered, we've got you covered. Check out the BetRivers app today as we start to turn the page from July into August. Summer's still hot, but the fall and all the great fall sports are right around the corner. Coming up on today's podcast, the Guardians, busy at the trade deadline. Were they busy enough? I'll get into that. But first, we're going to be joined by Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland.com. The Browns are down in Greenbrier again this year, getting ready for the start of the season. There's been talk from Deshaun Watson. Nick Chubb looks healthy. Is he ready to go? And a lot more from Browns camp underway in Greenbrier when Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, the preeminent Browns beat reporter, joins me in the bullpen next, right here. The Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by BetRivers.
You're watching Adam the Bull on the BetRivers Network.
All right, welcome back. It's the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by BetRivers, and now we're joined by the best Browns beat reporter out there. She's been covering the team for a long time, of course. She's seen a lot of losses, but now the wins are starting to pile up, and hopefully they will continue to pile up this year. She's down in Greenbrier, where the Browns are practicing, starting training camp for the second time in 2 years. The great Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
I'm doing great. We've had quite a time down here.
Yeah.
5 days of practice so far. A couple of them had to be moved and transferred and pivoted around because of thunderstorms and rain, but everybody's getting through it. And we have a day with no practice today and then heading back out for full pads tomorrow, the first full padded practice. So it should be quite interesting.
It seemed like it was a great experience for the team last year, and so it made sense to go back this year. Do you feel like the same thing's happening this season?
I think so. They had to keep it fresh, and I think they're doing a team bonding or team building exercise today. I'm not exactly sure what it is they're doing. We'll probably find out later because I'm sure some of the guys will talk about it. But I do think that there is something to be said for getting away from everyone and kind of closing ranks a little bit and making sure that you're just, bonding and getting to know each other better. There's a lot of new guys on this team, and I do think it helps to come down here.
Mary Kay, Nick Chubb, we know this guy, it's hard to believe he's a human being sometimes, the way he just recovers from injury. He seems like the perfect football player. But in the end, he is human, and he's coming off a serious injury. Obviously, everything we've seen of him working out-wise looks great. From being there, from talking with him, from talking to people around the team, how confident are they in his ability to bounce back this year?
They're very confident in his ability to get on the field this year, but what they're doing is pumping the brakes a little bit on the notion that he can be back for the opener. You know that that's what Nick is aiming for. Mm-hmm. And to watch him sprint the other day and go through the cones, it actually looked like he could possibly accomplish that goal. But Jimmy Haslam has pumped the brakes on that. Andrew Berry has pumped the brakes on that. And I think they're just trying to give him the chance to recover as fully as he can before they get him back out there.
Mary Kay, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, we all know all the gory details, both on and off the field. Off the field is obviously serious business, but in reality, and I'm not taking anything he's been accused of lightly. I think most people are sick of talking about it. But his comments the other day kind of riled people up. People have chosen their camps on Deshaun Watson. It is what it is. People will change their mind on him only in terms of on the field if he plays well. He hasn't played well enough. He hasn't been healthy to this point. But he has a chance to turn it all around. And the comments don't matter if he plays good football. This team looks primed to be a Super Bowl contender. But they're only a Super Bowl contender if he plays like a Super Bowl-level quarterback. Do you believe he can do that this year?
I think he can do that as long as the arm decides to cooperate. The thing that I've been saying over and over again is that there is no precedent for this kind of surgery in an NFL quarterback. And I don't think anybody really knows exactly how this arm is going to respond in the heat of the moment when he has to take hits on the arm. Because in addition to the fractured shoulder socket, he also had a partially torn labrum. So this was a pretty significant surgery that he had to go through. And that's the whole key in my mind, is how does he come back from this surgery? How does he hold up and withstand the car wrecks that you have to uh, be engaged in 10 times a game, a game basically.
Yeah.
So that's the whole key for me. I don't think he's forgotten how to play football, even though he has not played a full season since 2020. I don't think that that he suddenly just isn't an elite quarterback. I think it's going to be, can he come back physically from the surgery and emotionally from everything that he's been through?
Mary Kay, can you give us some updates where we're at with some of the guys who have been banged up or had some injuries here to start camp?
Well, Myles Garrett, who has been ramping up in camp, still hasn't practiced with the team at all. He hasn't put on the jersey or the helmet or anything like that yet and gone out there and practiced with the team. But I would imagine once they get home on Sunday for a padded practice in front of fans, I would think Myles will be out there for that. Jeudy, he's been nursing a minor knee injury, and he hasn't really practiced yet at all. He's been around and visible to us, but he's not actually practicing with the team yet. So that's those are two big guys right there. And then from an offensive tackle standpoint, you've got Jack Conklin not out there yet, and then you've got Jedrick Wills Jr. So one of those two guys are going to need to step up and get out there and play some left tackle for the Cleveland Browns before too long.
Yeah. We're talking with Mary Kay Cabot. And Mary Kay, how big was it to get the Amari Cooper? And, we thought, honestly, I thought it would take a lot more to make him happy, but they gave him a little more money and he seems happy and he's in camp now. How big is it we don't know if he wouldn't have been or not, but how big was it to get that done and to have a happy Amari Cooper in the mix?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge to get him in and have him happy. You really don't want to go into this season without Amari Cooper and without a happy Amari Cooper. And the reason why they were able to get it done in short order for the most part was because of the fact that he wanted guaranteed money for this year, and that's what he got. So he got all of his $20 million guaranteed. He didn't have to worry about going out there and getting hurt in training camp. And now he does have the option to make another $5 million, which would put him at 25 for this year, with a chance to either hit free agency at the end of the season or negotiate an extension with the Browns at some point between now and the end of the season or after the season. So I think he sees that the Browns would love to have him here over the long haul. He wants to be here for the long term, and so it seems like a win-win for everyone.
Mary Kay, going back to Deshaun Watson for a minute, do you expect him to play at all in the preseason?
I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does get out there and play some in that final preseason game in Seattle. I can't believe we have to go out to Seattle for a preseason game. But having said that, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's insane.
I know. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin doesn't throw him out there for that, just to get him some reps in live action, or mostly live action against some, I guess, starters. I mean, they would have to figure out what the Seahawks were going to do, because you don't necessarily want to put backups against starters and whatnot in a preseason game. But if he wants him to get the feel for the speed of the game, maybe get some contact and just get his feet wet a little bit before the season, that's probably going to be the time and the place to do it. He'll also have a chance to get some of that when they practice, when they do their joint practices against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if Kevin feels he gets enough good work in against the Vikings, then maybe he won't feel pressured to play him in that final preseason game against the Seahawks. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
I love the fact that Kevin Stefanski is still calling plays. I was worried that, maybe that he would be forced to give it up, which seemed crazy to me because I think he's done a great job as the head coach. Obviously, that was not the case, and it's good to have new voices and people chiming in like Ken Dorsey. But we all know, Kevin Stefanski has told us multiple times he enjoys calling the plays, and I didn't want him to have to lose that job. So I think it's a positive for the organization that he has the power to say, hey, I'm the head coach and I'm the play caller. Did you like that as well?
So I definitely think it was the right decision for Kevin Stefanski to retain play calling. It's one of the reasons he got this job in the first place. I know that GM Andrew Berry thinks that's one of his strengths in the organization is as a play caller. He has way more experience than Ken Dorsey does in calling plays. And I think this also frees up Ken Dorsey to really hone in and focus on Deshaun Watson in a year when he needs someone to give him all the attention that they have in terms of getting his confidence back, helping him assimilate to a new offense, and just kind of being his person. So I think it's great that they're doing it this way. I felt all along that they should, and it's absolutely the right decision.
Mary Kay, let's wrap it up with some stadium talk here. I know Jimmy Haslam recently said, he's heard that fans would rather it be in Brook Park. Who knows if that's true or not, but Andrew Berry talked about a dome. I know selfishly I'd like the Browns to play in a dome. I think it's better for the team, but there are some fans that would like it outdoors. But my guess is, talking to fans, the majority in the end would rather it be a dome. Plus, you could do so much more with it besides just football. It would be good, I think, in the long term for the area. How do you think that ends up resolving itself?
It seems like it is headed towards the domed stadium in Brook Park. That's where the momentum feels like it is right now. And I thought it was very significant when Andrew Berry came out the other day during his availability and stated unequivocally that he would prefer a dome and gave his reasons why. He was the first person in the organization to actually come out and admit that he wants the domed stadium. I thought that was significant. He's a high ranking official in the Cleveland Browns, and I think it's a window into the mindset of what they're really thinking.
No doubt. I think I said Berea, but I meant Brook Park, of course. Mary Kay, have fun the rest of the trip. We'll see you when you get back. Thanks for joining me as always.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Great talking with Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland.com, but now it's time to talk trade deadline. Guardians made two moves in the final 48 hours before the deadline. They acquire outfielder Lane Thomas from the Washington Nationals, and they pick up starting pitcher Alex Cobb from the San Francisco Giants. Overall, I'd give the Guardians a B-C+ for the trade deadline. I would have liked a bigger acquisition at starting pitcher. I do think Alex Cobb is a good pitcher. The problem is he's been hurt all year. He had hip surgery. He's been rehabbing his way back. He was expected to make his first start of 2024 over the weekend, and then he developed a blister, pushing him back again. He'll probably start at some point next week for the Guardians. Maybe they have him take one rehab start in Columbus or Akron before he does. We'll see. But he should start over the next week or two at the very latest. I would have liked them to get two pitchers, including one that has actually pitched this year. I like the Lane Thomas acquisition, like the Cobb acquisition. I like it, don't love it. I think Lane Thomas is a good fit. I like it more than the Cobb acquisition. He's a good defender, although some of the defensive metrics are not great this year. Excellent arm, great base runner, or great base stealer. He's third, I believe, in baseball in stolen bases. He has good power, although it's down from last year. He crushes lefties, league average against righties. He'll help. He'll play probably 5-6 days a week. The Guardians need to get Kyle Manzardo up here today. He should be on the roster. There's no doubt about it. Get him up, add Lane Thomas. Hopefully you get two additional bats, and you get rolling. We'll see with Cobb. Gavin Williams pitched well yesterday against Detroit. The schedule is tough the rest of the way. The Guardians will be seriously challenged. I would have liked a better pitcher, but in the end, the top pitchers did not get traded. There was supposedly some injury issues with Jack Flaherty. I've heard that the Guardians made a good offer for Flaherty. They didn't get him. Had they gotten Flaherty in addition to Cobb, I would have given them an A for this trade deadline. In addition to Lane Thomas, I would have loved to see them get a shortstop too, but that was not easy to do. Outside of there were not many better hitters than Lane Thomas traded at the deadline. There were not a lot of great pitchers traded deadline starters. Could they have gotten one more starter? Yes, I would have really liked that. Could a shortstop, one more relief pitcher? Sure. They didn't do nothing, but the Orioles and Yankees also, I don't think they improved any more than the Guardians did at this trade deadline. So I'll give them a B-C+. I like it. Don't love what they did. They could have done more, but they didn't sit on their hands. That was the most important thing. They got better in two spots, Is it good enough? We'll see. They're a competitor. They're a contender. There's no doubt. They've got the best record in baseball. They got their 6.5-game lead in the division. They can win the World Series, as is. Would I like their chances more if they added Jack Flaherty? Sure. I still think they got a shot to win the World Series. Bybee and Williams have to be healthy. In a perfect world, it's Bybee, Williams, Cobb, and Lively as your 4 starters in the playoffs. You got the good bullpen. They can win that way. Their superstars got to be great. Jose they're one superstar, and then their other all-stars, Naylor, Fry, Kwan, all have to be really good in the playoffs. I like the 1 through 5 of Kwan, Thomas, Jose, Naylor, and Fry. Hopefully get Bo Naylor hot down the stretch and get just enough from the other spots. All right, that's it for me for today. Thanks to Mary Kay Cabot for joining me. Thanks to Max and Andrew Andrew Schwartz, the newest member of the bullpen team, and I pronounced his name right. He's from Canada. We'll give him a pass for that. I love that. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by BetRivers. See you, everybody.